everybody, what's up? So I'm back again with Madam Sunshine, and Madam Sunshine has another interview question for me. Madam Sunshine asked me, what is the inspiration behind each one of my books? And so I thought that was a very important question, so I think that it's only right that I share. All right, so the first book that I had written in 2004 it was a very personal journey with my good Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And so he was so good to me, I couldn't do nothing but write about it. Right? And so then my second book, I believe it's entitled 4 Seasons of Poetry. I wrote that in 2006. And when I wrote that one, that book was a collection of poetry. And the thing about me and poetry is, it's like, you ever seen somebody play a guitar and you wonder how do they move the strings like that to make that sound come out? If you ever picked up a guitar and you don't know how to play the guitar, and you're like, it don't sound right, right? So, but with me and poetry, it's like a sweet romantic love, baby. It just flows. And so I write poetry all the time. And so it was something that I thought I had enough of, and I was like, oh, I got me book number 2. So the years rolled on, and I had been influenced by a lot of great people in my lifetime. And so in 2018, I published Branded. I published My Life Is Not Over. I published The Conspiracy. And I published a poetry book entitled I Feel You Different, an anthology of poetry. So I'll start with the poetry book. As I said once before, I just love poetry, and so I write so much of it all the time. I mean, literally, like, even sometimes when I'm talking, I find myself rhyming. It's the craziest thing ever. Like, oh my God, there's a danger, it's a stranger. This is crazy. So anyway, the book Branded was inspired by a few mentors that inspired me along my journey, and by name, one very important one is Romney Malco. Another very important one is Russell Simmons. Another very important one is Tyra Banks. And another very important one is John Wall. Now, each one of these people are in different, careers, so to say, right? And so with John, let's use him for example. This guy is a master when it comes to that basketball. And so, me, I love basketball and I love masters. And so, I'm always inspired to see someone so driven. And so when it came to Tyra is a person who, she is just a boss. Do you hear me? This lady is, just, I don't know, words can't describe her. But I call her Mega Mama Mogul because, like, she just, do her thing, I was very inspired how, she went from being a supermodel to producing her own TV show. I think the TV show was called something with the biggest heart. I forget. But then she had another TV show called The Tyra Banks Show. And then the ultimate TV show was called the talk show was called Tyra Banks. And, you know, like Wendy Williams, but like a better version. You know, like an Oprah, but a better version, you know. So then she had America's Next Top Model. America's Next Top Model was like, you know, baby, take your pictures and make them cute. But what I was more inspired about with Tyra was that she started a TV show that like branded in, I believe, something like 187 countries or something like that worldwide. Like, that's some boss stuff, right? From a TV show. So I found that to be very inspiring. And then Romney was a person who appeared out of the blue. Now, don't get me wrong. I followed Romney long before we had met, but he was so adamant about making his dream come alive, and I was so adamant about believing in his dream. It's the movie that he produced and wrote and starred in, him alongside of Regina Hall, is called Prison Logic. And, you know, I'm an extra in the movie, but, you know, my role is, you probably won't see me if you blink. But I don't care. I'm in the movie. Woo! And Russell Simmons is a great inspiration to me, too, because I love his philanthropy. And I love how when I met Russell, he's always been the same person since meeting him. And then I wrote this other book called My Life Is Not Over. And My Life Is Not Over was inspired by Regina Hall. And the way that the inspiration came about is because she did this movie with Will Packer and Queen Latifah and Tiffany Haddish, and she did one with Jada Pinkett was also in it. And she was reading from a book, and the book was called, I don't know what the book was called. Honestly, I don't know what the book was called. But as I sat there, I was in the process of writing Branded. And I had already completed, or I don't think I had completed The Conspiracy yet, but either way, it was during this time when I was writing all three of these books. And the story goes like this. She was on the television, and I was sitting there watching her, and she said, "I am beautiful. I am this. I am that." And then I was like, "Oh my God, that's another book!" So I wrote like this book called, you know, My Life Is Not Over. That's where the book and the inspiration came from for that book. The Conspiracy is just a story that I originally was going to call The Cremator, but I then changed it to, I don't know, it's like that artistic thing that I talked about in my other video where, you know, step back from it and give it time to breathe and manifest, and then it turned into The Conspiracy versus it being The Cremator. But it's a really good book. Just get the book, and then, you know, after you get the book and read it, then you can understand what I'm talking about when I say The Cremator. So anyway, those are the inspirations behind my books. And so, Madam Sunshine, I hope that that satisfies your quest. And so until next time, it's your boy, Mark Farentino, darling. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.